You were born in 1690 in a small village near Bristol, England, into the family of a poor fisherman. Your father, worn down by years of hard labor on coastal boats, barely managed to make ends meet while feeding a family of 6 children. Your mother, a woman with tired eyes, worked on the farm of the local lord, harvesting crops for miserable pennies. In those days, at the end of the 17th century, England was deep in naval wars. The War of the League of Augsburg had just ended, and the War of the Spanish Succession loomed ahead. The sea tempted young men with promises of adventure and money, but for people like you, it was the only way to escape poverty. From the age of 12, you helped your father on a fishing schooner, learning to tie knots, handle sails, and endure the salty wind that lashed your face like a whip. By the age of 16, you signed on to a merchant ship bound for the West Indies. There, in the Caribbean Sea, colonists were settling new lands, and ships carried sugar, tobacco, and enslaved people across the Atlantic. Life aboard a merchant vessel was pure hell, as it was for thousands of sailors in those years. You woke at dawn in a stifling hold that smelled of rot and sweat, slept in a hammock swaying among rats and cockroaches. The captain, a strict Dutchman named Van der Horst, ruled with an iron hand, for the slightest offense, the lash or the irons. Wages were pitiful, about 25 shillings a month in peacetime, barely enough to eat in port, and during wartime they might rise to 55, though even then they were not always paid on time. Food consisted of salted meat, hardtack as solid as stone, and water that, after a couple of weeks in barrels, grew covered with a green film. Scurvy was a constant companion, gums bled, teeth fell out, and the body broke out in sores from the lack of fresh fruit. You saw sailors die of typhus or dysentery, their bodies simply thrown overboard with a short prayer. Danger lurked everywhere. Atlantic storms could tear a ship apart like a matchstick, and Spanish or French privateers attacked merchant vessels, plundering their cargoes. You survived one such raid off the coast of Jamaica. The Spaniards took half the tobacco but spared the crew, since the war had not yet flared up in full force. After that, you began to wonder, why break your back for pennies when those who took by force lived like kings? In 1710, during your third voyage aboard the Sea Eagle, everything changed. The ship was carrying sugar from Barbados to London when, off the coast of the Bahamas, you were attacked by pirates under the command of Benjamin Hornigold, one of those who had begun as a privateer during the War of Queen Anne and now kept his own accounts. Their sloop, fast and maneuverable, flying a black flag adorned with a skull and bones, crept up under cover of night. A cannon shot shattered the foremast, and the pirates swarmed aboard with grappling hooks, shouting and swinging cutlasses. Your captain surrendered without a fight, knowing resistance was useless. Hornigold, a tall man with a scar across his face, offered the crew a choice: join them or be put ashore on the nearest island. Many, including you, chose the former: better freedom and a share of the plunder than a return to poverty or the gallows for desertion. Thus you became a pirate, in an era when the golden age of piracy was in full swing. After the War of the Spanish Succession, thousands of former sailors and soldiers flooded the Caribbean in search of easy riches, and colonies like Nassau in the Bahamas became pirate havens, where governors looked the other way for bribes. After becoming a pirate, life turned upside down. You were now part of the crew aboard the Queen Anne, a renamed sloop captured from the English. Pirate ships were overcrowded. A vessel of 200 tons might carry 80 to 100 men, unlike merchant ships that needed only 15 to 20. This meant less work per person. You rotated watches, scrubbed the deck, repaired sails, or stood lookout for prey. Democracy ruled. The captain was elected by vote and could be removed if he failed. The pirate code, like those of Bartholomew Roberts or Blackbeard, regulated everything, from dividing plunder to banning fights aboard ship. You received an equal share. An ordinary sailor got 1, the captain 2 or 2.5. Wages? None fixed, but after a successful raid you could walk away with 300 to 1,400 pounds, a sum an honest sailor would save for a lifetime. For example, after capturing a Spanish galleon off Florida, your share amounted to 500 pounds in gold and jewels, equivalent to 80,000 modern dollars. You spent it in ports like Port Royal in Jamaica or Nassau, rum flowed like water, women filled the taverns, gambling never stopped. But discipline existed, men turned in early, and the drunk were sent to sleep on deck so as not to disturb the crew. Food improved but remained rough. The staple was salted beef or pork, hardtack, and sometimes turtles from the islands. Their fresh meat helped prevent scurvy. From captured ships you took fruit, wine, and rum. The latter was a salvation, drunk diluted with water to avoid disease and lift morale. You ate 3 times a day, in the morning, oatmeal or hardtack with rum, at midday, meat with beans, in the evening, whatever remained. Hunger still stalked you. If a cruise dragged on, food spoiled, and you had to hunt sharks or fish. Danger was everywhere, and a pirate career rarely lasted more than 2 to 3 years. Caribbean storms, hurricanes, could sink a ship in minutes, as happened to Henry Morgan's flotilla in the 1670s. Disease followed, yellow fever, malaria from the islands, scurvy when vitamins ran short. You lost a friend to gangrene after a wound in a skirmish. Battles, boarding actions with pistols and cutlasses, where blood flowed in streams. Enemies included the Royal Navies of England, Spain, and France, which strengthened patrols after 1715, when the governor of the Bahamas, Woodes Rogers, proclaimed an amnesty but hanged many others. There were also other pirates, traitors or rivals, as in the case of Charles Vane, who quarreled with Hornigold. And always the gallows, if caught, an admiralty trial, and the noose at Tyburn or in Jamaica, the body tarred and displayed. You survived several adventures. In 1712, your crew took a French frigate off Cuba. The fight was fierce, bullets whistled, and you swung your cutlass, flooded with adrenaline. The loot included silk, spices, and gold from the New World. Then came a raid on a Spanish colony in Panama, recalling Morgan's expedition of 1671, you hacked through jungles, fought natives and mosquitoes, looted churches and warehouses. Yet freedom was intoxicating, no masters, no taxes, only the sea and the wind. You saw African captives freed from ships, and women pirates like in Bonnie and Mary Red, who fought alongside men in the years 1718 to 1720. Your life was a mix of horror and exhilaration, nights under the stars, shanties sung by island campfires, rum that warmed the soul, and the constant fear that tomorrow would be the end. By 1715, pressure increased, England and Spain made peace, and fleets hunted pirates relentlessly. You accepted amnesty from Governor Rogers in Nassau, though many, like Edward Teach, continued. You settled in Jamaica, buying a farm with your loot, but memories of the sea would not let you go. In the 1720s, piracy faded. The last figures, like Roberts, died in battles with the Navy. You lived to 50 years of age, telling your grandchildren stories, knowing that those years were called golden for a reason. They gave a freedom no one else had.